Accurate.
We will greatly appreciate it, Madam
Yeah,
President.
absolutely. Happy to help.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're ready.
All right.
Everybody, please take your position. I'll call this meeting to order. May we have the roll, please?
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Wah.
Here.
Trustee Silver.
Here.
Trustee Chen Lao.
Here.
Trustee Fellow.
Here.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Osterling.
Here.
Student Trustee Ramirez.
He doesn't usually come.
Thank you.
He doesn't usually come.
So this is meeting number
Yes, we can.
17. I missed to say that, right? Pasadena Area Community College District. Board of Trustees, we have gotten the roll call, and now do we have any public comment for closed session? No comment? So yes.
No.
Thank you. Okay, so our public, the agenda for our closed session is as follows. Government Code 54957, Public Employee Appointment. AVP, Los Angeles Regional Consortium, Instruction, Kinesiology, Health, and Athletics. Item number 2, Government Code 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiation, Agency Designated Representative, Robert Belinsky, Assistant Superintendent, Vice President to Human Resources. Item number 3, Government Code 54956.8, Conference with Real Property Negotiator, address, possible satellite, location, 325 North Santa Anita, Arcadia, California. District Negotiator Candace Jones, negotiating parties, discussion only. Item number 4, Government Code 54956.8, Conference with Real Property Negotiator, address 1364 and 1339 Green Street, Pasadena, California. District Negotiator Candace D. Jones, negotiating parties, California Institute of Technology. Item number 5, Government Code 54957, Evaluation of Employee Superintendent President. At this time, we'll convene to close session, and we'll be back in about 5 o'clock. Okay, we will recess at this time. Report from in closed session, just for the record's sake. Okay, so now we will go to, do we have any public comment on?
Oh, you need to do
Oh.
land acknowledgement.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Where am I? Okay, so at this time, we're going to have, hold on one second, please. Yeah, we're going to have the land acknowledgement by our trustee, Osterlin, and then we will have our Pledge of Allegiance by Trustee Martin.
Trustee Brown, I'd be delighted to read the land acknowledgement. I do not have it memorized.
It's not up here?
Yeah, do we have a script for that?
Oh,
Oh, they normally put it up.
Thank you, Mary.
It's normally up. What's the problem? Sorry about that, Trustee Osterlin.
Won't forget that. Thank you, Mary. Pasadena City College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians of the Shishkeekwanga, I hope I pronounced that correctly, village and Kits Nation. Tonight we acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. Let us take a moment of silence in honor of the important contributions of the stewards of this land who came before us. PCC and its faculty, staff, and students recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This land acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to be in good relationship with the people of the land and embodying equity in our practices and policies.
Thank you. Trustee Martin.
Please stand. Join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is a resolution 5. Resolution 713 authorizing remote teleconference meetings of the Board of Trustees and regular meetings of any other college bodies as required by the Ralph Brown Act.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, please raise your hands if you approve this resolution. Okay, resolution has been approved. Thank you. Okay, item number 6, approval of reordering of agenda items.
Move to approve.
If I want to recuse myself for one,
You do that at the time.
thank you.
Move to approve the agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, do we have any introductions and recognitions?
Yes, we have 2. The first, I'm going to have Cecilia Medina.
Good evening. Is this on? Can folks hear me? Thank you. Good evening, trustees, President Angie Jonas, the PCC community. I am Raquel Torres Retana. I am the Dean of the Rosemead Satellite Campus as well as Educational Partnerships. Today, I am Dr. Raquel. In honor of our colleague and our friend, Luis Cervantes, we come together as the PCC Safe Zone Coalition, and I'm going to allow each member to introduce themselves briefly.
Hello, my name is Dr. Cecilia Medina, counseling faculty housed at Rosemead.
Good evening, Yahaira de la Paz, job developer with Economic Workforce Development in the Freeman Center.
Good evening, my name is Juan Pablo Carrion, counselor coordinator for the Puente Project and also counselor for the Ascend Scholars Program.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Fusa. I'm the Student Life Advisor in the Office of Student Life.
Hello, my name is Jeff Hupp. I'm a counseling faculty here on campus.
Good evening. I'm Brian Pangan. I'm a counseling faculty at a non-credit division.
Good evening, my name is Melba Alvarez. I'm the MESA specialist, classified member here at Pasadena City College on the main campus.
También quisiera darle un saludos a los padres de Luis Cervantes. Entiendo que están viendo esta junta por televisión o por YouTube y les quiero también dar mi pésame en lo que han pasado y a usted y a sus familias. It is with a heavy heart that we share the unfortunate news that our beloved brother and colleague Luis Cervantes passed away on Monday, March 14th, 2022. Luis joined Pasadena City College and the Safe Zone Coalition in 2015. His passion for students, his strong work ethic, and commitment to social justice for the underserved populations throughout the Pasadena City College District impacted everybody. the Colorado campus, while he was housed at the PCC Rosemead campus, and most recently at the Foothill campus.
As the professional expert for the Safe Zone Coalition, Luis not only coordinated and facilitated the allied trainings, he also met with students, faculty, and staff to ensure an inclusive campus for our undocumented and LGBTQ plus communities. A dynamic presenter, Luis was invited to offer trainings and workshops at neighboring campuses. With the Safe Zone Coalition efforts bringing to fruition an on-campus student resource center for our undocumented and LGBTQ plus students, Luis was a natural appointment to launch the center. For a year, he acted on his passion for educational equity and laid the foundation for the center. There was an immediate thriving community within the Quest Center. He provided a voice for the students, organized PCC's first Lavender graduation celebration in spring 2018, and was integral to welcoming our trans community at PCC. Upon returning from remote operations due to the pandemic, Luis was hired as an adjunct counselor for our adult non-credit students at the Foothill campus, another underserved community.
Luis remained an advocate for students, and while only 31 years old, he impacted all of our lives. His smile and style lit up the room. He remained a co-conspirator, challenging the status quo on issues of diversity, equity, inclusion for our most marginalized and vulnerable communities. In addition to his professional accomplishments, Luis was authentic, he was kind, he was generous, loyal, funny, smart, compassionate, self-aware, resourceful, collaborative, and above all, stylish. We are all better humans for having the honor and privilege to know him and to have worked alongside him. May Luis rest in eternal peace, and may his spirit continue to live in each of us.
Luis is survived by his parents, brothers, and nieces and nephews, and extended family. In virtue of the positive, lasting impact that Luis Cervantes had on the college district, the Safe Zones Coalition will honor his legacy in the form of a Luis Cervantes Scholarship to be awarded to PCC students within the LGBTQ community.
Queremos compartir con los padres y los familiares de Luis que nos están viendo, en honor a la memoria de Luis Cervantes y el trabajo que dedicó y empeñó en el colegio. La organización de Safe Zones ha dedicado, en reconocimiento de su legado, a hacer una beca para estudiantes del colegio en su nombre. Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I am really deeply sorry to hear about Luis Cervantes. And we will definitely adjourn our meeting in his honor as well. And may he rest in peace.
And our other introduction speaker is Talene Seropian.
I'm so sorry. I actually was crying a bit because I knew Luis. Thank you for doing that. One moment. Gosh, this is embarrassing. Okay. Here we go. All right. Hello all. Thank you to the members of the Board of Trustees, Superintendent President Androgenis, representative PCC students, management, classified staff, faculty, and the PCC community for allowing me the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Talene Seropian, and I am a counseling faculty member here at PCC. But like many of my colleagues, I wear several hats. And two of the most important and proud ones that I have are serving as the role of co-advisor of the Armenian Student Association and the president of PCC John, which is the Joint Armenian Network. And if you remember from a Board of Trustees meeting I did last April, John is a term of endearment that we use in the Armenian community. On behalf of PCC John, the ASA, and the Armenian community at PCC, I'd like to thank the Board of Trustees and the college for their continuous acknowledgement of the Armenian genocide during the month of April, which I believe perhaps started in 2015, if Alex and I were correct, as well as the adopted Resolution 662 denouncing the violence of Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh, and expressing solidarity with those impacted by the war in Artsakh in October 2020. This year is no different with the proposed adoption of Resolution number 714 that will not only commemorate the 107th anniversary of the Armenian genocide, but also the announcement of April 2020 as Armenian Heritage Month. We are appreciative and grateful to be part of a college that recognizes and honors our culture, ancestry, and experience. Further, we are happy to note, I'm sorry, I'm quite emotional from what happened. Okay. Further, we are really happy to know that finally our ancestry is acknowledged in the PCC application. Thank you to the Office of Institutional Effectiveness for their work on this and for collaborating with two of our very own ASA board members on Flex Day for a presentation and an upcoming conference presentation to others later in April to represent the Armenian student voice. Thanks, Dr. Olivo. As a first-generation student who was never recognized by her university, I promise you this gesture speaks volumes. This year, April will be recognized as Armenian Heritage Month at PCC, and with the generous support of Dr. Cynthia Olivo, the Cross-Cultural Center, collaboration with John, the Armenian Student Association, we are excited to host our first set of in-person events that we invite you to attend and publicize. Last year, many of you attended our Zoom ones, but yay, we're back on campus. We're planning a lunchtime student-staff mixer on April 7th, a screening of the documentary The Hidden Map by filmmaker Ani Hovhannisyan, whose father founded Armenian Studies at UCLA. She'll be there for a Q&A on the evening of April 12th. A diverse speaker panel focused on exploring the resilience of communities and after genocide, erasure, and political violence on the 18th that represents more than the Armenian voice. And an Armenian cultural showcase called Yerevan Nights on the evening of April 20th in beautiful, beautiful Westerbeck Auditorium. Stay tuned for details, but I do hope to see all of you there. As I stated, two of my most prized roles at PCC involve being a leader in the Armenian community. Through these roles, my colleagues and I have learned so much about how Armenian Lancers have impacted our college campus over generations. Embracing this from presidents to coaches. Embracing this history and taking advantage of the opportunities the college provides helps us continue this work. Thank you for your time tonight, your support throughout, and your opportunities in the future.
Thank you. Next, do we have any others?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Next on the agenda, public comments and non-agenda items. Do we have any?
I do have some, and we do have a number of items on a single topic, and I believe board policy allows us to limit discussion on a single topic to 30 minutes.
That's correct.
That's
So
correct.
do we take a vote on that?
No, you don't need to because you
Okay.
already have that.
Okay, so that single topic, so please use your time judiciously, those speaking to the topic of graphic classes. But we do have two other speakers. We have Alex Shaganaka. Is he here?
Yes, right there.
Okay. And Mr. Shaganaka, you have 3 minutes to speak. Alex, am I doing the timing or?
Yes,
Yes,
you have
okay.
it.
You have 3 minutes, and the green light will start when you start. After 2.5 minutes, the amber light will come on, and then the red light when it's time to stop.
Understood.
Okay?
Morning, happy Friday. So sometimes, several of my classmates call me, I can never be a grown-up man, I'm so weak, and I believe that is very accurate statement. I'm so weak that sometimes I often cry. When the student, bully me in the bathroom, I did not cry. When the professor called me making a racist statement, I did not cry. When people accusing me of having violent behavior, disrespectful languages, I did not cry. I get much more stronger. But when I lost my U-Pass for this summer, actually every single summer, I really did cry. Every time when I was waiting for the bus, during the late night, it's once per hour the bus runs. I heard people next to me, they calling on the phone, "Hi mom, Metro is running late. Can you please come pick me up?" That really touched me deep down inside. By discontinuing the U-Pass during the summer, especially this specific summer, we have a 2 summer session, 4-month-long summer, that I officially lost the right to cry for Metro. When you need help, when other people need a ride, they call their mother. Who is my mother? My mother is 323 Go Metro. By discontinuing the U-Pass, literally you are separating me from my work, from my medical appointment, from my education, from my family. So I officially separated from my Metro mother. Another one I want to talk about, there are good things during the pandemic, which is my GPA. There are good things. Everybody knows that I don't understand English. I have language barrier. I'm not doing good because of that in class, because I don't understand. But during the pandemic semester, I finally become a straight A student. Tell me why. I want to know. On the week 1, the professor sent us an email. Please read chapter 1, chapter 2. On week 2, professor sent us an email. Please take the quiz, complete the discussion. And then we're going to repeat the week 1, week 2 for the whole semester. I literally completed, I did a 10 hours of coursework for the whole semester, and then somehow I end up with an A. I really miss those days I'm getting my C's because I'm getting my real education. I really don't need those A's because I didn't do any work, but I got an A. So I'm not really sure which department is responsible for investigating how many A's that were given during the pandemic, during the online education, and how many of those A's are actually the real F.
Thank you, Mr. Shaganaka.
That was quick.
Okay, our next speaker, Melissa Michelson. And do you understand how the timing works?
Would you remind me?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I'll press the button when you start, and the green light will be on. Do you see on your right those
here?
lights? Yeah.
Okay.
And then at 2.5 minutes, the amber light will come on, and then at 3 minutes, the red light will come on, and you have 3 minutes to speak. So they're all right there to your right.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. And I'll start when you do.
Okay. As a tenured professor at this college, I'm extremely disappointed and angry about what is happening at the school. It feels like the one hand doesn't know what the other is doing. The administration is ignoring college participatory governance and running roughshod over your policies and procedures, not to mention gutting perfectly viable programs without offering an alternative and seemingly without your making informed decisions. First, a few questions. Do you even know the difference between non-credit graphics and credit graphics? For one thing, non-credit doesn't have screen printing. For another, non-credit is just 2 8-week courses. That's it. Credit graphics, on the other hand, is a robust program leading to occupational certificates. On December 8th, you voted on something, and it was to discontinue the graphics program, and there was no data associated with that. Prior to it landing here, there was no data associated with it. Not in CNI and not in the Academic Senate, no data. Before your December 8th vote, back in November, the Dean of VAMS ordered elimination of the screen printing equipment
How is that even possible before you even voted? On February 7th, 2 months later, after you voted, the Faculty Senate visited the topic. Why are they voting after you voted, apparently? There were 7 attempts at that meeting to get data, and they were met with maybe later. That week, I sent a cease and desist letter to the Dean of VAMS, and I CC'd all of you here and the college, and I asked for an itemization of what was removed and data to support the decision. We as faculty are constantly being forced to come up with data. This just shows data-driven decisions is lip service at this college. Not one single one of you replied back to me or asked me for information. And by the way, ACCJC, most of you were here for that, put us on warning in 2015, several years ago, for this. Skip ahead this week to the Senate, and the administrators, Vice President Ramirez and VAMS Dean Lenora Rogas, spoke ad nauseum about data that had never been released or presented before. At that meeting, as several faculty senators were in the middle of trying to make further inquiries about the process and the missing data, Vice President Ramirez dutifully did your bidding, the bidding of the board and the administration, and announced that the board had already voted on this and this was all done. Why would you have voted on this without the Academic Senate having voted on this? So on December 8th, back then, what data did you ask for when you voted to discontinue an entire program? Are you paying attention to what the administration is doing here? No wonder the faculty at this college are considering a vote of no confidence on you and the administration. The community deserves better than this. The students deserve better than this. Please do your job. And this is a travesty for our programs. I hope you rescind your vote, rescind your decisions. The Senate should do the same. This should be null and void. You should start over and follow the process. Thank you.
Thank you. And the speaker sheet from this speaker did not indicate the topic, otherwise it would have been included in the 30-minute total on the topic. We will continue with the balance of the speakers with the 30 minutes. You may divide your time as you like. Each speaker does have 3 minutes, but the total time on this topic is 30 minutes. The first speaker is Kristen Pilon.
Hello. In order to use our time most efficiently, I'd like to have the students right here so they can just step up and say their piece.
Sure.
You ready for me?
Yeah.
I'm Chris Pilon, a former professor at Pasadena City College, now retired. And I would like to ask everybody in this room, just for a moment, to think about the time when you were starting your career. Think about the path you traveled in your drive for a vocation, for the special training or experience that has gotten you into the position of expertise that you hold today. Many of us might not understand the kind of journey you took or comprehend the lengths you went to gain your particular set of skills, but we could acknowledge their validity. Now look at the students in this room and think about their various journeys, not so different from yours. They rely on programs like graphic communications to help them achieve the creative production goals they set for themselves. Some of the students coming into this program may not feel college ready. They may not have been successful in high school. They may not see themselves as smart enough or may not have the family support they feel they need. But they are creatives looking for a place to learn skills, to start a business, or add to other creative endeavors. Sometimes it's hard for traditionals to see the validity of careers in creative fields. But these people are not dissuaded. They will find a way to succeed. Many of our students are among the groups we often talk about drawing into the college. Students of lower income, students of color, non-traditional thinkers. The graphic communications program gives these individuals a chance to develop expertise around a process, and in doing so, they begin to develop self-confidence and a sense of mastery. They are required to work together with their peers in class, often from different economic and social ethnic backgrounds. They share space and tools and equipment. Students learn to collaborate, a skill more and more in demand in our society. These are essential skills for them to move their lives forward. The graphic communications program has been a part of the fabric of PCC for more than 70 years. It has changed and evolved with trends in equipment and materials. It would likely continue to do so with support from the college. I would like to challenge the board and administration to thoroughly consider how the graphic communications program helps fulfill a need in our community for students like these to pursue their careers in creative entrepreneurial areas. Let's help these students and future students in our community to explore skills in graphic communications. It may simply be that this career tech program is a better fit in the career tech division. I'm sure we could work something out if we work together and share our ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is Pablo Schultz.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a successful product of the graphic communications program here at Pasadena City College. I own a small business. The skills I learned here in my business, or at the school, literally saved my business because I had to update my skill set to save my business. I learned those skills here. Those skills allow me to provide for my family and allows me to hire employees into my shop. I've hired employees from this program, directly from this program, because they had the graphic communication skills I couldn't find anywhere else. I interviewed people from Cal Arts, I interviewed people from Art Center, and they did not have the skills I needed for my shop. Graphics arts is not just about learning Photoshop to make internet memes. It's a viable, lifelong skill set that can apply to a myriad of businesses, not only in graphic communications or printing, but also in web design, video games, and the entertainment business. But if you think printing is a dying industry, I want to remind you that everything that you've bought in your house was printed on something. Finally, it would be disappointing and, in my opinion, elitist for PCC to discontinue trade programs at the school. I have friends who graduated here from the mechanics program, from the machine shop, from the carpentry program, and from the electrical program, and all those programs are gone from this school. We don't see them anymore. Still, all those friends are very successful, and a lot of them own small businesses. These trade programs are a cost-effective way for a lot of students that simply cannot take a huge loan for a private school. These public institutions like Pasadena City College remove these barriers of entry for so many students. Not everyone needs or wants a 4-year degree. By the way, I have a 4-year degree that I'm still paying off, but the skills I learned here, they've been paid off, and they paid off 100 times, 1,000 times. Quite frankly, I think this is some mindless destruction to destroy the trades at the community college level. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jana Cervanka.
Hi, I'm a former student of Chris Pilon, and I'd like to show you something that she spearheaded and inspired at the Millennium. I'm a different student. I'm a student who had fine arts training at the master's level, and I too discovered her class. And this is from we had students that were retired teachers. We had, there's one student. This student drove all the way from LAX, had 3 children, and could only come to class when he could put the money together for gas. And he participated in this. And I will say that I have never experienced a class like Professor Pilon's. It was a mix like you cannot imagine. You had intellectuals, you had students who had failed in high school who themselves were true intellectuals. This is Chris's first page of her calendar from 2000, and it says everything about this class. I met people, I could go on with stories. I'll finish with this one. A student a student I just ran into, not a student, a woman, overheard her across the street at a coffee house, and she, just like Pablo said, she went from being a housekeeper to having her own t-shirt business, and she took every class in the printing department and proudly received they had like a credential that they would give at the end. So I want to say, please, it is not too late to rescind a decision, and understandably, it's the pandemic and people have so much pressure. You have so much pressure yourselves financially, but give us a chance to find a way to make it work so we can work together as artists, and as in Chris's class, business, art, creativity. I've never experienced in all my art classes anything like this. It's really a jewel and has to be honored and not erased.
Next speaker, Ariana, I believe the last name is Allen. Is that correct?
Yes, hi. You were almost there. Adriana Allen, proud graduate of Art Center. I want to say I started at PCC. I learned how to screen print at PCC. I went on to work at in a very prestigious position, Walt Disney Imagineering. The knowledge and expertise I received in my class here at PCC, I started when I was in high school. My husband started his business screen printing, and he became a very successful engineer. We all have our own experiences here. My son came here, who ran out of classes to take in high school and started taking art classes, started his own fashion design business in high school, and was printing and making all his work, which in classes he took with Chris. I came back and was a student as well because he inspired me. And in the classroom, they had the ability to walk in and use the digital labs, which a lot of schools don't have. And it was amazing to see these kids go in there, because I'm old now and I could see the generations coming through. And it was amazing for them to have this support. There's not a lot of support like that for people in the lower class world that we have here in the divide. That I don't need to lecture you on, but you do need to understand that this class supported kids who had nowhere else to go, adults, people like me who just wanted to come back and learn their art, a little bit better than before. And not having this class, there was kids who were students, not kids, just people of all origins accepted, LGBT, everybody in the rainbow, everybody is loved. Also kids who had problems and weren't necessarily can do the 4.0 GPA that you want. But they were there and they were able to do their art, and it was a place for them to be able to be successful. I'm speaking to you because I want you to understand that California is at the edge of having the best of everything. Art Center is the Mecca design school of the world. 3 of my professors who went to Art Center were PCC teachers, professors. You don't want to be on the wrong side of removing the arts. You want to always support the arts. There's so many famous. Look at Sotheby's. How much did an Andy Warhol painting go for? His work is worth over $3.5 million. Besides that, there's a technical part of printing that is one of my colleagues here said was important in printing. So please take this into heavy consideration. The arts are so important, and we really need them to be supported. And California really is ahead of the program, and you want to stay there. A colleague of mine said that, she suggested that my daughter not go to PCC and go to a 4-year college. And I said, it's not the school it was when you and I were there. So please don't take away the programs that made PCC awesome. You don't want to just be a university. There's plenty of those. You have to support your community. I'm the community here, these guys here, and future community. Thank you.
Okay, Stephanie Leonardos.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Leonardos, and I'm speaking. I agree with everything everyone said. I'm a teacher at Blair High, and everybody kind of already said it, but I have a statement from a teacher over at St. Philip who came over here to get a certification in science and ended up in the screen printing department. And one of the things she says is about the feeling that was in that room. Never have I seen such an amazing problem solving being demonstrated. The conversation between the students concerning methods, techniques, art forms, and styles are endless. Once again, I would observe individuals that were struggling personally, but once they would set foot in the screen printing lab, everyone became part of a diverse, unique community. People listen, observe, and most importantly, help each other. Professor Pilon is a true master in screen printing. She shares her vast knowledge, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's going on about her, the professors that were there. I went there because I was a UCLA grad and did all sorts of art jobs that didn't require technology. And once I needed it, there was no question, go to PCC. If you need to learn a trade, if you need to benefit from people learning a trade, like, you know, getting my teeth cleaned for $10, you know, things like that, you come to PCC and you will get the same education you get at Art Center, You don't get the 4 years, but you get the same level of quality in the classes. And I had the whole thing written down, but the point is, and I'll just try to wrap it up, is that everything I learned is why I have a career. And all my students at Blair and PHS and where I've been teaching for the past, decade, because of this program, are they want to come here. They want to come here not because they're all intellectuals. They want to come here and learn something that they can take out and use as a trade and start making money. Another guy in our program has a screen printing business because of this program. Another guy that I took classes with. So, I mean, we're all just repeating ourselves, but please, don't end the program. Thank you.
David Kuat?
Thanks. David Kewitt, but that doesn't matter because I know who you mean. Somewhere here I have something to look up. The good news is I taught here for 34 years and I think I can do this in 34 seconds. That's yay! It's a shame to shut down such a program which trained thousands of people, one of whom left $250,000 to the PCC Foundation. It's still there. I'm pointing at the building. It's still reassuring, though, to see that even though the program was theoretically already shut down, it's still on the main page of the art division website. There's us. So we're very photogenic, even though we don't exist. Kind of cool. Anyways, thank you for your time.
Murphy Armitage?
You got it. All right. The cancellation of the graphic communications program is not only a misinformed decision by this administration, it's also a crime against our local community. The entire purpose of this institution is to support and provide a wide spectrum of educational disciplines, experiences, and skill sets to the students of this community. The graphics program provides education that is relevant to so many different career paths and curriculums available at this school: art, computer, science, design, engineering, fashion, and manufacturing, just to name a few. The amount of real-world applications for graphic design and screen printing are quite frankly endless. This program has so much to offer PCC, and I don't understand why the administration thinks it has no value to its students. So I'm here to explain to you as simply as possible how this rich and diverse program changed everything for me. Sorry, need a second. The graphics program was one of the most valuable influences in my entire education, hands down. It fundamentally changed my entire path as a student and gave me more than I could possibly ever imagine. It gave me a career focus that made me excited about school. It gave me the skill sets to effectively run a small business. It gave me a job while I could continue my studies, and it gave me the ability to house and feed myself. It gave me the design knowledge to produce a portfolio that got me accepted into Art Center College of Design with scholarships. It gave me the tools required to earn a bachelor's degree in fine arts and graphic design. It gave me the experience to qualify for my dream job as a creative director right out of art school. It gave me a brighter future. The graphics communications program has changed my life in countless ways, and I know it has for so many others. This administration has unilaterally decided that current and future generations of students have absolutely no need or want for this rich and diverse program. I'm here today to tell you that your decision is misinformed. The graphics program provides value on so many different levels to PCC. This administration has effectively robbed students of the opportunity to learn so many amazing things and so many skill sets that will benefit the future in both science and art-based careers. I beg this administration to reconsider and reinstate the graphic communications program. Thank you.
Next speaker, Gustavo, I can't read the last, C-U-A-L?
It's Cal. Hi, everyone. My name is Gustavo Cal, and I'd like to say that the graphics communication program was a great program, and it could still be a great program. During my second semester, it gave me the confidence to open up a shop in the city of Monrovia. That was my very first shop. Getting out of high school, I might have not had the confidence. I was still trying to figure out a lot of things. Being in John Miner's class, I learned a lot of skill sets. I learned a trade, which gave me the confidence to go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to put some money down and get a lease for a building. I'm still currently in business. I'm proud to say that I'm a Pasadena business owner. Pasadena City College. I'm very proud to say that I have a business in Pasadena, and it's all because of this program. So please really rethink your decision on this program. I think it's really inspired a lot of people, a lot of students to do a lot more than, to give them that confidence, the confidence that it gave me. And I just want to say thank you for your time, and I really ask that you guys reconsider your decision. Thank you.
Dan Sermino?
Sermenio.
Sermenio.
Okay, I'm a retired LAUSD instructor, and I retired in 2016. I was in the graphic arts program from 2016, 2019, until it was closed due to the COVID pandemic. I took the class because I wanted to further my design skills that included the use of digital media. The program at PCC with Chris Pilon and Dave Hewitt gave me that and more. With the burgeoning diversity of the greater Southwest of the United States, the cultural connection that silkscreen in the form presented by Mr. Pilon and Dave is essential. Silkscreen has had a long tradition of cultural expression in the Latino community and has grown immensely with the 20 years of the general public. Who in Los Angeles hasn't heard of Dia de los Muertos? The heart of the celebration is based in graphic art and the silkscreen process. There are no other programs such as this. If we are to serve this community with free 2-year college as proposed by the Biden administration, the programs that it offers must be relevant to its constituents. Please restore the graphic arts program here at PCC.
April Garcia.
Hi, my name is April, and I'm a former student here at Pasadena City College, studying in the fields of fashion, textile, and screen printing. I first attended Chris Pilon's Intro to Screen Printing in 2008. The skills I learned in this program would then open me up to taking classes in fashion, graphic design, and photography. Screen printing is a huge part into the work I do today. Without learning the foundations of screen printing, I would not have the opportunities I have today, since my work is directly linked to the skills I have learned here on this campus. I use the art of screen printing to print on textiles, and with the help of the fashion program, I'm able to create work as an entrepreneur. Through the use of screen printing, I have the knowledge of creating marketing and content creations. I was taken back by the sad news that the screen printing program was eliminated and all equipment disposed of without any notification to the current and former students still attending and completing their certificates. I remember the classes were always filled up and the wait lists are of eager students trying to add classes on the first day of school. The screen printing program has been some of my best years here on the campus because of the safe environment, knowledgeable instructors, and community of students that helped us learn together and work alongside each other to create an environment that is so enriched with talent, both professional and artistry. This program gave us the tools and support to overcome and solve technical problems that happen through the print process from inks, solvents, and image formatting. Not only is this trade hands-on, there is so many trial and errors that occur during the printmaking process. This department merges multiple departments here offered currently from fashion, photography, graphic design, business, and art. Eliminating this program creates a huge loss in the community of students thriving in technical skills, using their minds and hands best suited for the different styles of learning. Cutting out this program affects future potential employment for the working class and upcoming artists. I would like to thank all of the great instructors and the privilege of learning from Pilon, Hewitt, Miner, and Erica. Thank you.
Alec Pelson.
Hi, I'm Alec Pelson. I still kind of think of what I want to say, but I started here with no motivation, just skating, tagging. Maybe you wouldn't know that from looking at me, but then I kind of was walking around wandering, and I found this beautiful building that now is knocked down that had stencils and stickers and posters, and I walked in and I met Chris and Mr. Hewitt, Murphy, I haven't seen in a really long time, Erica, John Miner, and in that class I was able to design logos with my friends, and now I travel all over the world painting these logos, not just tagging, but selling merchandise. I design logos for people. That same logo I'm painting this week at the 72nd tower of the U.S. Bank Tower. I mean, and it all started in this class. The website I'm looking at right now, I mean, people keep bringing it up, that logo. All this stuff was designed by people like me. And for that to be canceled, I mean, you won't have a website. You won't be able to update it. You wouldn't have logos on T-shirts or anything like that. I just really think that this is a trade that needs to stay, especially now that technology is ever growing. I mean, you could design something sitting right here on your iPad, go project it in this room, paint it, and make thousands of dollars off of it. And it's all, from this class. So I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Evan Blumer Torres.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the graphics department. My name is Evan Blumer Torres, and I am a 2016 PCC graduate, having completed 3 associate degrees in graphic design, communications, and humanities. When I first came to PCC, I didn't have a clear path yet, like a lot of us, but I had taken some photography and art classes back in Michigan, so that's where I started. I was soon made aware of the certificate programs available, so I continued down that path, receiving certificates from the VAMS department in computer-assisted photo imaging and then in graphic design. Although these certificates did help me find a couple of entry-level jobs in these fields, I still felt like something fundamental was missing from my skill set. During my time in the graphics department, I learned valuable marketable skills such as how to create and prep files for print, various font families and their real-world applications, and of course, the screen printing processes. These skills have shown me a clear path to becoming both a competent and confident artist working here in Los Angeles. I have sold some of my screen prints at art fairs and markets in the area and exhibited one of my screen printed posters at a juried student art show at the Pasadena Museum of California Art. Excuse me. In spring of 2015, I completed the Certificate of Achievement in Screen Printing and also received an Award of Excellence for my final project that was submitted to the SGIA student competitions. I was also honored to be a TA for Erica Rubel's classes for 2 semesters. The sense of community brought to PCC by Chris Pilon, Dave Hewitt, John Miner, and Erica Rubel was both encouraging and enriching, especially for those of us who were still carving out our path. The screen printing lab was a safe place for so many of us creatives who felt like square pegs trying to fit into round holes. It was a non-judgmental, welcoming environment no matter what your family's income bracket was, no matter what neighborhood you came from, or whether you were on a transfer path or not. My hope is that you will reconsider the move to do away with such a valuable program in our community, especially now as many people are discovering new career paths of their own. There's still a real need for skilled screen printers and production artists, and I have witnessed it firsthand in the job market these past few years. I suspect the demand for these skills will only continue to grow in coming years, especially since the CSULA has recently stopped offering their Bachelor of Science in Printmaking program. Thank you for your time and consideration. If you have any reason to reach out to me personally in any way that I can help provide this program, please do so. And I've made up an example of some of the skills we used in the program, and I can pass these out to you to take home with you if you'd like. Thank you.
Todd Jones.
Your 30 minutes is almost over, right?
You have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the half hour.
My name is Todd Jones. I'm a scientist at JPL. I received my PhD in applied physics in 1989 from Caltech. I raised 2 children up there in Altadena, and I'm also a delegate to the Los Angeles County Democratic Party representing this area, Assembly District 41, also a taxpayer. I recently viewed an archived video of this deliberative body having a meeting that took place on December 8th in this very room. In that meeting, I saw this body perform an astonishingly opaque governance. The entire graphics arts program was disposed of in a voice vote. In a voice vote without deliberation. The entire graphics arts program was valuable to the school, as you know. There was no due consideration for the students who sought careers in graphics arts. There is no due consideration for the faculty who teach graphics arts. And especially, there was absolutely zero consideration for the Pasadena community who depend on access to classes in the graphics arts. As you have heard tonight, the graphics arts program is a principal avenue to successful careers for the working classes. There are 4 seats on this board that are up for grabs, up for public vote, and all 4 have viable contenders. Finally, as a resident of this community, I would like to be able to send my kids to take a class in screen printing, as it is so boldly photographed in the PCC public promotional materials that Dave showed. You destroyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there are 20 seconds left, and the next speaker is Cesar.
So, good evening, everyone. My story is very brief. What the foundation, what graphic communication gave me a foundation with the skills to prepare me to get a scholarship and attend other places like Art Center. But if you could bring that back, will be.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your comments. Yes,
I move to extend time.
I can hear you.
I move to extend time for public comment by 15 minutes.
I second.
I didn't understand what you said.
He said he moves to extend public
Okay.
comment by
So-
15 minutes.
And I second it.
So now you take a vote as to whether or
Okay.
not you agree to extend the time.
How many more speakers do we have?
Well, Cesar would finish and one more after
Okay.
Cesar.
Well,
So
that's okay.
can we extend it for that time period of
6 minutes.
6 minutes?
Yes.
Well, there's
Oh,
a motion
can you
on the
amend
floor
your
that says
emo-
15.
Sorry.
So trustee Ramirez would need to either.
Resend it.
Okay, for 6 minutes then.
Okay. Is that acceptable to you, trustee?
Yeah, I second.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, let's go.
Cesar, 3 minutes. Now you have 3 minutes.
Well, to continue, good evening again. so PCC from college to colleges that I jumped around. I found home. I found PCC with the great instructors. I found a community, I say, of different backgrounds that I can relate to. Commuting from downtown LA to Pasadena, it's kind of like, you know, it's just a different community, right? But yeah, I just found home away from home, and it gave me the skills. It prepared me for what I never thought that I would reach in my area as, you know, from other colleges that don't want to name those colleges, but so it set me to gain a scholarship, attend art center without a dime to pay, you know, 2-3 free classes from what I learned in graphic design communication. And in 2020, I received my, well, I'm not yet received it, but I qualified to get my associate's degree in what is it, studio arts. So through graphic communications, I think I gained that of the confidence to do what I do and make the money that I do and get by with the skills that I learned there. And that's how I make a living. I make stuff, I screen print on stuff that I wear and stuff that I produce, and I work from home thanks to this department that offer all the tools. So thank you for that, and I hope you consider rehabbing that and for people like me and others. Thank you.
And our last speaker is Skip Hickenbottom.
Do I need to press a button before I start, or are I good?
Pardon?
Yes, she will do that.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, I just start when you start.
Okay, thank you.
Don't worry.
Good evening. Appreciate the chance to be here. Some of you may know me. I'm a civil rights attorney, and Ms. Pilon just contacted me a few days ago because she's concerned about some of the procedural irregularities in this process. So one of the first things that you study in when you're becoming a lawyer is what the phrase due process means. It means a fair trial. It means an opportunity to be heard. These people behind me did not get due process. They weren't treated fairly because they weren't given an opportunity to be heard before you eliminated their program. The other thing that I want to emphasize when I start here is a fact that I found out just a few days ago, which is the lab for this program was dismantled 2 weeks before the first academic senate vote. So 2 weeks before anybody voted on this, the decision had already been made to eliminate the program. The ink was thrown away, the tables were taken out. That's the roots of the poisonous tree. On November 22nd, the academic senate voted on this, and they voted unanimously to eliminate the program. But it was treated as a consent item on November 22nd, and so it's not surprising it was voted unanimously to eliminate the program because the Brown Act was violated. There was no notice given of the meeting, so they never had a chance to understand, to come here and do what they did not tonight, which is have their voices heard about the elimination of their program. On December 8th, you folks rubber stamped that decision. That's the fruit to the poisonous tree. So the fact that there was a vote on the 2nd and the December 8th doesn't cure the problem. And then I understand on February 7th, there was another vote by the academic senate, and this time the vote was 1/3 voted to eliminate and 2/3 voted not to eliminate, or they didn't understand, so they abstained. I'm not here tonight to argue the law. I'm just investigating this. I'm here tonight to tell you it's never too late to do the right thing. And everybody in here knows this doesn't pass the smell test. Okay? So you don't have to be a lawyer to understand something wrong with this process. So I'm asking you, before you eliminate this program, find out what happened and why they weren't given their due process rights and why they weren't given an opportunity to be heard. because that's a fundamental principle of this democracy, the right to be heard. So please, don't deprive them of their due process rights. Slow down, investigate this situation, and do the right thing. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
That it?
That's all.
Thank you all. Okay, so next on our agenda is the approval of minutes for February 16th and February 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of the minutes? Please raise your hand. Approval of the minutes. Approval of the minutes. I think approval of the minutes. All in favor? Okay, thank you. All right. Next on the agenda is the board committees reporting out. Do we have any committees reporting out?
We do. We have the budget and audit for one. Yes?
Yeah, and I'll report out on facilities.
Okay.
Okay, well, who will go first?
Okay. We had, the Budget and Audit Committee had a presentation by PARS, which is, I'm learning things, so I'll just mention this because I didn't know. PARS is actually a company, not an agency or state entity, and it stands for Public Agency Retirement Services, and they are managing our funds, and we are thankful that the stock market has done well, and we have our contributions for our retirees, OPEB, which is other public employee benefits, primarily health insurance, is doing well. We have, where is it? A lot of papers. Oh, there we are. We have funded about 56% of the total, but I don't know when we're going to finish it. But anyway, we're doing well in that. I think the thing that struck me most is the percentage obligation that the college is going to have coming in our future. And in the current fiscal year, we're obligated to pay 16.92% of the salaries for employees that are part of the STIRS program, and 22.91% for employees that are in the PERS. And this requirement is, well, it's a huge obligation. We are fiscally prudent at this college, and we do take care of our financial responsibilities. Those numbers are going to increase in a mere 4 years to 19% for STIRS, and 27.8% of the salaries will go for PERS. So it's something that we are very aware of and are prudently managing our money so that we can cover our obligations.
Thank you. Does Trustee Martin, you have anything to add?
He was unable to be there.
Perfect. Okay.
I have something just quickly to add to that report, and then I'll do facilities.
Excuse me.
Trustee Waugh had her hand up.
Oh, go ahead, Trustee Waugh, go ahead.
Okay, so Legislative did have a meeting with Assemblymember Holden, and we discussed the various bills that he had, and of course, our appreciation, especially for the dual enrollment. But Dr. Androgenis had several issues that we brought up before the legislators, including an upcoming carve-out. Were there other things that you wanted to brief on? But I think the carve-out was the big thing that we asked most of the legislators to make sure that they looked at that. It's a chance for us to get some additional money for some needed services.
Thank you. Okay.
Just a quick follow-up on Tammy's report. The credit that we established those trust funds for OPEB goes to the trustee on my left, John Martin, who worked long and hard to get us to invest our money into the trust. And previously, we were, the money was with the LA County, and the return there was very limited. So the good results that we have stemmed from John continuing to press us to do that, and now that's in place. So thank you, Trustee Martin. Facilities Committee, we also met, and the item on the agenda was an update on the Serafian Building, also known as the U Building. The demolition is essentially complete. The construction of the new building will start soon, and the contractor has been selected.
Thank you. Any other comment? No?
No.
Okay, great. Okay, so then we'll move on to item number 12, update on DEI initiatives. Any updates? Trustee Wah.
Just want to remind everyone that tomorrow night we'll be having the DEI Town Hall. It will be focused on the EO plans and getting the data and making sure that the boards understand their role in asking for and reviewing the EO plans. Trustee Silver is one of the leads on this. And of course, Trustee Ramirez is actually going to be speaking from the student's perspective. So I hope everyone will be able to join us. Everyone is welcome. So we want all stakeholders to come to the table.
All right. Any other reports? That's it? Very good. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I don't forget. Yes, it's on my calendar, though.
Linda, where could a person get the link if they did want to come? Because it's actually going to be fabulous.
So we can send the link to Mary and ask that it be sent out and posted to anyone.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to approval of combined consent calendar GE1 through G7. Do we have any discussions or?
I would like to recuse myself from G8.
So if I could make a suggestion that you move approval with the exception of G8, and then you take a separate vote on that item, and that way Trustee Silver does not have to recuse herself from the entire consent agenda.
Trustee Wall, go ahead.
So I move to approve the consent agenda item except for 8.
G8.
G8.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, any other discussions? If not, all in favor? Oh, okay. Now we will go to G8, right? So,
Motion to approve G8.
Second.
all in favor? Okay, motion carries.
Well, you have to, she recused herself, so she abstains.
Yeah,
She
you need
abstained.
to.
She didn't
Yeah.
abstain.
Yeah, so Mary has me.
Okay. Next is H calendar. Student does not vote. H2 through H10.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, any discussions? Yes?
So I believe on this calendar, we're recognizing 3 deans. I just want to give my my gratitude to Deans Rogax, House, and Kyotis for all of the work they did, and they especially worked in Area 5 with my K-12 superintendents and their staff. So just wanted to congratulate them and just give my thanks.
Okay. All in favor of approving H2 through 10? Okay, thank you. Okay, now we go to action items for approval. We'll start with number 1, California Community Colleges Classified Employee Nomination of the Year. Do we need to make a nomination, or how does that go?
Is there someone from PCC?
Yeah, do we have someone here from the Classified Senate to speak to the candidate?
There we go.
Okay, there's Nayuri.
My name is Nayuri.
Can you speak into the microphone just a little more?
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, much better. My name is Nayuri Zograbian. I'm the Vice President of the Classified Senate, and I'm here to present about this year's nominee for the California Community Colleges Classified Employee of the Year. On behalf of Pasadena City College, we have selected Angie Alvarez to be the recipient of this prestigious award. Angie has spent the last 11 years at the college working in our TRIO programs, most recently serving as the High School Relations College Orientation Specialist in Pathways FYE program. Angie's work focuses closely on closing equity gaps in the onboarding phase of the Guided Pathways framework. Working in the FYE program, she has been at the forefront of expanding outreach efforts through her work in the PCC community. She has been instrumental in streamlining internal processes as well as supporting the summer orientation program, JAM. And next, I'd like to share an excerpt from her nomination form, which describes her really well. The level of dedication and commitment Angie has shown at Pasadena City College is inspirational to all classified professionals. She is a champion of equity through and through, always focusing on students from the community she represents and always making intentional decisions in her work to best support all students. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes. Okay, next on the agenda would be to adopt Resolution 714 in commemoration of the 107th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide, April 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passes. Okay, number 3, approve tentative agreement between Pasadena Area Community College District and the Pasadena City College California School of Employees Association from July 2020 to June 2023. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of approval? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Okay, was that me?
I don't know. I wasn't
wasn't
being.
me.
It was-
Okay. Number 4 is to receive initial sunshine proposal for negotiations for the 22-23 academic year from the Pasadena City College Faculty Association to the Pasadena Area Community College District. Motion to approve.
I motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? If not, all in favor? Okay. Next is to receive the initial sunshine proposal for negotiations for the 22-23 academic year from the Pasadena Area Community College District to Pasadena City College Faculty Association.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions, discussions? If not, okay, all in favor, good. Okay, good, we're moving right along. Maybe we'll get out of here. Next is the approved modifications and additions to the credit and non-credit curriculum.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Moving right along.
Okay, thank you.
Information items, we will talk about Superintendent President report.
Okay, so today I hosted my first Cookies in Conversation forum this afternoon. Had about 60 people here to hear some updates, ask questions, and have cookies and coffee. This is in addition to my monthly office hours that I hold for students, faculty, staff, and a new hour I just added for our leadership team to come as well. On tonight's agenda, quite a few faculty were awarded tenure, and I will host a celebration in April for faculty who earned tenure in 2020, 2021, and tonight. And I held my first tenure celebration in 2019 when I came because, earning tenure is a pretty big deal. And so it really should be acknowledged and celebrated. So be on the lookout for an invitation. So part of my job includes presenting at conferences and service on state and national bodies. So I want to share a little bit about what I've been doing in those contexts as well as what I've been doing in the community here in the last month. Right after our last board meeting, I helped lead a DEI leadership workshop with Dr. Helen Benjamin and Evergreen Valley President Tamil Gilkerson at the Asilomar Women's Leadership Conference, and our very own Dr. Laura Ramirez was there for that. I also, a couple weeks ago, served on a panel entitled Discover the Next, a guide to the value of higher education conversation at the National American Council on Education Conference in San Diego, and others who were on the panel with me, former Undersecretary of Education and current ACE CEO Ted Mitchell. Really great conversation about the kind of the general milieu of about education and the value of it out there. As you know, you may not know, I'm currently the treasurer of the LGBTQ caucus through CCLC. I was one of the founding co-chairs of that, and we've met to determine that we're going to follow the women's caucus in terms of our dues structure. And I also, a couple of weeks ago, participated on an Equity Avengers Twitter chat event that was in honor of Women's History Month. And for that, Kern County Community College trustee Nan Gomez Heitzberg, who's my Women's Caucus co-chair, and I answered a series of questions on Twitter posed to us by those two fabulous Equity Avengers, Mesa College President Dr. Pam Lester and Compton College President Dr. Keith Curry. So we had a lot of fun for an hour answering questions. Also participated on the Women's Caucus International Day event, which was a great panel discussion about by student parents and the folks who support them, and our very own Family Resource Center, which is just a hallway away, or where it's going to be. We'll be opening it soon. We're getting the furniture all in place and getting that going, so that'll be exciting. Be on the lookout for that. About 2 weeks ago, I also went to the CEO Symposium, and it was great to see my CEO colleagues, many for the first time in 2 years, and we were all laughing because the last conference we were all at was the CEO Symposium in March of 2020, and little did we know when we flew home that day that we would not see each other for a very long time. So at that conference, in my role as the California Community College Athletic Association chair, I presented I'm also a member of the CEO board. I presented on the proposed statewide contract for the Spry Accelerate app, phone app, and that is designed to help the 110 community colleges in California who offer athletics to be compliant with SB 26, and that's to manage the disclosure requirements for student athletes to exercise their name, image, and likeness rights. So originally, community colleges were left out of that through SB 206, but then Senator Skinner, who authored Senate Bill 206, created Senate Bill 26, and that means our student athletes can access their NIL rights. And the need for disclosure is not just about student athletes telling us that they are using their rights. It's also about student athletes telling us that they're not using our rights. And one of the things that will be coming forward as we work on it, we will need to figure out board policy, and I know the league is working on some model policy, as well as APs and processes of when a student athlete wants to access their name, image, and likeness rights. Can they be, for example, wearing a PCC jersey? Can they be somewhere in the athletic area? You know, we have to make those decisions as an institution. So that's something that we'll be focusing on. I also met with David Rattray and his folks at Unite LA regarding our involvement in a K-16 collaborative, and Dr. Raquel Torres Rentana, Did I say that right? She is going to be our representative to that P16, and it actually is a large grant application that we'll be involved in with the county and Unite LA. We received word that PCC has been approved for a $50,000 planning grant to explore student housing options. And we applied because Alex Buckelhide and I have been in conversation with a potential partnership with the city of Pasadena and money that they have put aside in their budget to potentially renovate some properties out there that we could potentially house our homeless foster youth and former foster youth. And the idea is that the city would provide, and possibly another entity, which is a much longer discussion, would provide the facility, and we would ensure that there are wraparound services for those students. So basically, we're landlocked as an institution or as a district, so what we're trying to do is be really creative in how we can figure out those housing options. So more on that as we get more details, but we're really trying to look at those partnerships within the community to see how we can help. It does seem like it is Presidential Advisory Committee season because we had the PAPI meeting last Saturday morning. That's the President's Asian Pacific Islander Committee. And then we had the Veterans Advisory Committee meeting yesterday, and we had a great report out from our interim director over there, Carol Calandra, who told us that they have had more than 20,000 student veteran contacts in the 2020 and 21 year. So even in a pandemic, and the meeting was great because they went over all of the ways in which they accomplished those contacts, and it came in many forms. We also had the President's Latino Advisory Committee meeting this morning, and we will have the President's African American Advisory Committee next Monday afternoon. It's from 4 to 5, but we're actually going to start at 3:30 with a tour of the Black Student Success Center. So if you're around and would like to go, we'd love to have you. Our college hosted the HBCU Caravan on March 2nd. And it was amazing. It was great to see so many students and college reps on campus interacting and being in community with one another. We had a total of 482 people who attended. 267 of them were students. 20 of our students and another 30 local high schoolers were accepted on the spot by HBCNUs who were present. Yes, yay. Okay. Including some, I think at least 2 got $12,000 scholarships, is that correct? And PASS had 50 students join their interest list, and we also had our Black STEM folks recruiting students for the class, so that was great. On other great student news, we have 3 students who are finalists for the Jack Kent Cook scholarships. Natalie Guzman, Natalia Hernandez-Martinez, and Janet Tang. And those are very prestigious. They are a full ride to complete your bachelor's degree. Also, our ITS department was awarded the 2022 CISOA Technology Planning Award for Network Design and Network Refresh Project. This is the second year in a row they have won this award. This is a statewide award, so yay to Nairi and Candace and all of our IT folks in the room. Congratulations, great job on that. Speaking of doing a great job in competitions, our speech and debate team has been killing it out there. And some of these names will sound familiar. Natalie Guzman and Laurel Spear, Nathan Long, and other students who, let's see, we have Laurel Spear, Rocky Castillo, Anna Ganglami, Emil Ibarra, and Ella Hoxson. They, at the spring championship, they won golds in international public debate, junior parliamentary debate, are just amazing achievements. They won the silver in open dramatic interp at our state championship tournament, silver in open informative, bronze in open impromptu, and 4th place in the limited entry team sweeps. And they are off to the Phi Rho Pi Community College National Championship Tournament in St. Louis in April. So congratulations to them and good luck going forward. And I think I've mentioned in other meetings that we have created what we call the Community Excellence Fund with the Mackenzie Scott donation that we got last year. We did an RFP, and a group of us are looking at applications that were due on March 4th. We got 49 applications, and they ranged in dollar amounts from $5,000 to $1 million. So the people on the committee are in the process of scoring them, and we'll be allocating out about $1.1 million this year, and of course there'll be future years. But our time frame to finish that is by April 19th, because on April 19th we are having our Above and Beyond Awards lunch, and that is recognizing campus achievement. So that is our Above and Beyond Awards. We'll also announce the successful Community Excellence Award applications. And that's also where the RISR Award will be announced. We're going to have a lunch out on, similar to the President's Holiday Luncheon, out in front of the mirror pools under a big tent. And we are using some of that PRT money, the Partnership Resource Team money, to cover a good share of that. On April 26th, you will all get notice for the Superintendent's Principals Luncheon, which will happen here in Creveling Lounge. On April 29th, the Seraphin Building groundbreaking will be at 9 a.m. And just make sure it's on your dance card, May 6th, 7 p.m., commencement ceremony in our Robinson Stadium. No commencement this year. We are going to be back in the stadium. And then also to put on your dance card, June 23rd, that we will be officially unveiling the Jack Scott name on the building. And that concludes my report.
Well, that's a
Madam
good
Chair,
report.
Can I ask Dr. Irajonas to jog my mind about the Community Excellence Awards? What's that, like the criteria, or what are you looking for?
So what we're looking for are innovative ideas. Is there something that you think would enhance student success or be an extra program or maybe expand upon a program? So my favorite example is there's a proposal, it's only $5,000, but it's to buy all of the equipment and supplies for one of our faculty members to teach students about beekeeping. And as a way to be involved in the environment, but also, you know, we do need bees. We have a little bee problem in our ecosystem.
Have no life without
right.
bees.
But then there's also proposals to look at digitizing all of our newspapers of the college going back to its founding in preparation for the 100th year. There's proposals about equipment that could provide additional classes or skills for students in some of our areas. So they run the gamut. It's pretty wide, and we have a rubric that we're using in terms of how strong is the proposal, you know, how will this impact students. So, yeah.
Oh, good, thank you. That's great.
And speaking of awards, recognition awards, I need a volunteer to serve on the Recognition Award Selection Committee.
On the Above and Beyond?
Yes.
Yes.
So, do I have any volunteer?
I'll do it if you want.
Oh, yeah, you have time, Trustee Chinla?
I have no time, but I'll
Chinla,
do it.
sister, go ahead. It's yours.
Oh, it's mine? Oh, great.
Yeah, you
Thank
can have it.
Okay.
So, where is, so just let it be known that
I will let it,
Trustee
and
Chinla
so
will
it is
be
known.
our nominee for that day, so she can work with the committee. Okay, moving along. That was easy.
Okay.
So now we will go to our share governance announcement representative. Let's begin. Do we have anyone from the Academic Senate? Oh, I see a new
There's Veronica.
face. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. I'm Veronica Jaramillo. I'm the Vice President for the Academic Senate. The Academic Senate continues to discuss and make recommendations regarding administrative policies and board policy. Administrative Procedures and Board Policy. We would like to thank Dr. Cynthia Olivo for presenting to the Senate with an update on student services, and Dr. Ramirez for her presentation on the career technical education. We also had Dr. Christina Salazar present on the e-syllabus, which was designed with student equity in mind and to provide students with easy access to information on student services on campus. Lastly, the Senate would like to recognize the instructors who have earned tenure. We were happy to see the instructors that earned tenure today. And that's our report.
Thank you. Okay, our next is Mr. Partida here. Ernesto. Is he the one from, there he is. No,
there's
we have
Nayuri.
someone else.
Hello, everyone. It's me again. I'm just presenting on behalf of Audrey Joseph, our parliamentarian, who couldn't be here today. Currently, the Classified Senate is preparing for Classified Week, which will be taking place in the week of May 16th. We have been collaborating with other members of our shared governance, including PRT leadership, as well as a management association, amongst others, to make this a week-long celebration of our colleagues. This year has been especially challenging for all of us, even more so for classified professionals, and we want to ensure that they are recognized and that they truly feel appreciated. This is especially the case since they have shown amazing amounts of perseverance, provided exceptional support to students and the PCC community. Again, this is we're really trying to plan a large event to show our recognition for our colleagues, and I think it will be well received. So we're looking forward to it, and we hope that everyone can be there to help celebrate. That is all for the Classified Senate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, about Management Association. Thought that was you.
You have all different faces today.
Every week.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Hi, good evening, Carol Calandra. And on behalf of the Management Association, the very first thing that we would like to do is thank you, Julie. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. House. Thank you, Lenora Rogas, for your leadership, your guidance, and your wisdom at your time in MA. We're going to miss you, and we are sure, we're absolutely positive the students are just going to love to have you back. So thank you, and best of luck back in the classroom. We had a very extremely robust and informative general meeting on March the 4th. The MA is in the beginning steps of planning our summer retreat, which will be on June the 10th. And part of our discussion really has been, how do we recognize our classified colleagues? And how do we as MA step up for Classified Recognition Week? We'd also like to do a shout out to Dr. Ramirez for assigning Dr. Young to take the lead on the campus-wide Credit for Prior Learning project. It's not going to be an easy project, but at least we have the way forward now. And lastly, ginormous shout out to Tamika Alexander and her team. That was an incredible HBCU event. The quad, I haven't seen the quad look that fun in a long time. So great shout out to Tamika and her team, and then also for the event that she hosted today. And that is it from the MA.
Thank you. Okay, next we will hear from the Associated Students. Emmanuel, you there? Here he is, all dressed up.
Hello, everyone.
He's all dressed up, sharp.
Okay, hello, everyone. Good evening. So I just make this quick. The Finance Committee our ASPC Finance Committee has been planning an event, and all details have been finalized for a movie night. And we will be showing the movie Joy on the 29th of March in the Circadian here. Sorry, this is Krevling. Circadian. The Student Equity Committee has also been planning for an upcoming event, and it's an event of a menstrual product drive. The goal is to receive donations for PCC to provide the products in our centers on campus and also find a local shelter for people struggling with homelessness to collaborate with and improve our community service within the district. The Student Services Committee for Associated Students has also been planning an event, and we will be hosting a Student Services Fair. The event will be on the 24th of this month. And if there's any service program that we have missed, please reach out so that we can provide that sign-up list to you all. The Sustainability Committee for Associated Students is also has prepared Sustainability Week here at PCC. And in order to anticipate this week, we will start with the Q&A tomorrow at 12 p.m. with the Streets Coalition of Pasadena, and it'll be via Zoom. For Sustainability Week, there will be a movie night on the 18th, which is this Friday, and that'll be at 6 p.m. in the Circadian. The movie that will be played is Nausicaa, and for the following week, we will be conducting a booth at the Mirror Pools and Garden, where we will be having workshops on the 22nd and 24th from 8 to 3 p.m. And we're also planning, they're planning an Arroyo Park cleanup. So please reach out if there's anyone interested in volunteering your time for that event. Also, the Academic Commission for Associated Students will be hosting the Burger and Brains event. And it's a more sort of a weekly event or 3-day event. And they will be handing out informative flyers about student success centers available on campus. Students have to go to 3 centers and answer 2 questions per center. And the first 50 students to fill this out will be able to redeem their prize of a burger at the Quad on March 24th from 12 to 1. And lastly, the ASPC Executive Board has approved a timeline for the elections of associated students for the next academic year. And applications are due at 4 p.m. on the 31st of this month. And that is it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Now we will hear from our student trustee.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I wish we were still in spring break, but it's great to be back. And as this academic year winds down, it's great to see that we approved a budget for commencement. I know many students are very excited to be able to celebrate after such a difficult year. I know I certainly am. Personally, I'm hoping to finish off strong by organizing an event so we can increase student engagement within our AS elections, like President Emanuel just mentioned. I'm hoping we can send out a system-wide email to all students so they're also aware of our elections, so hopefully that can get done. I also wanted to share that Associated Students has taken a stance of support on HR 6425 and HR 6537, which are both federal bills that make some changes to Pell Grant. Of course, our ultimate goal is to double the Pell, but that's not realistic this year, but that's a long-term goal. And they will be lobbying in DC early April. We just approved a budget for their travel. This will be the first trip back for this group since 2019, so it's very exciting to see students back at the table and sharing their stories to our representatives at the Capitol. I also know that next month is our traditional joint meeting with Associated Students, so we are looking forward to having that meeting in person for the first time also in 2 years. You will finally be able to hear about all the great things that students have done this past year. Lastly, if you know any students who may be interested in running for the student leadership positions, please get them to apply and send them to the Office of Student Life. It's in CC 105, and like Emmanuel said, the applications are due on March 31st.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Trustee Chinlau.
Thank you. I would like to first thank the alumni, faculty, and community members who spoke in support of the graphic communications program. As someone who has worked at the Japanese American National Museum and now currently at the American Film Institute, I certainly recognize that creativity is a big part of our society, of our social fabric, and that arts and culture are an important part of an education system. And certainly in speaking of art and culture, we also know that there's been less people of color in this industry, and so who makes art, who owns art, and who appreciates art, that's been in discussion, and I can certainly see the impact of the graphics communication program that's had on our students who may come from various diverse backgrounds. Second, I want to acknowledge Dr. Raquel Torres Quintana. She worked with me and the Sequoia School to look into establishing a dual enrollment program there. And she also shared with me that at the La Cañada School District, there may be a new biotech class for dual enrollment as well. So I just like to take this opportunity to thank her and her team of two, she reminded me, for their efforts in dual enrollment. Thank you.
All right, next, Trustee Fellow.
Trustee Fellow is very happy that we're moving along with the Arcadia Satellite Campus, and I hope that will be coming to fruition very soon, and Arcadia is looking forward to that. And I also want to encourage students to participate in the Florence program, the fall semester Florence program here at Pasadena City College, led by Dr. Rita D'Amico. And my wife and I, our scholarships have come to fruition, our endowed scholarships, so there will be money for you. So, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Trustee Silver.
Yeah, I have been thinking a lot, I know, as we all have, about the situation in Ukraine. And what I think about as educators, how we are the shields for our country and the world against autocracy. We've seen campaigns of disinformation in our own country and are witnessing disinformation in Russia, and the critical thinking skills and the questioning skills that our students will gain by being here at PCC are incalculably valuable. So a tip of the hat to all who engage in this work.
Well, thank you. Trustee Osterlid.
Thank you. Earlier this week, I attended the PCC Foundation Board as our liaison to that board, and I kept them informed about the progress that we're making, moving towards a facilities bond in the November election, and informed them that they would be playing an important role, and they're ready, willing, and able, and looking forward to that. Yesterday, I attended a memorial service for longtime PCC instructor, retired, Sally Duncan Gordon, and that was held at the house of her sister, Mabel Duncan, also a longtime PCC employee, and got to meet some of their family. They were one of 13 siblings in their family. And I asked Board Chair Berlinda Brown if we could adjourn the meeting in Sally's honor.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Trustee Martin.
No report this evening.
Trustee Wall.
Okay, well, I have a report.
You have one?
I do. So I just want to give a couple of shout outs. I was really great to attend the KPCC Gala. It was nice to have PCC recognized, and I believe former trustee Warren Weber, John, correct me if I'm wrong, was instrumental in negotiating that license with KPCC, and and has really brought great history for us. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Director Calandra. I had a chance to attend the Veterans Caucus yesterday, and just really an excellent report and great stats, and really was great to see how our communities have come in to help the veterans. How some of us are Rotarians, and I saw that the Pasadena Rotary had given a grant. The DAR of both Pasadena and San Marino have come in to help the veterans. So just want to thank you for a really great report. Also wanted to say that for those of you who attend the legislative advocacy that's put on by the League, the past webinar was actually put on by Nuni Garipian, who is a former student trustee of ours. So she is now leading legislative advocacy as part of that group. Well, she's one of the leads of legislative advocacy. So it's really great to see our students who have really elevated and risen. Also wanted to say that the CCC nominations is coming up, and Trustee Silver and I had a chance to hear the forum of all of the candidates. We have gotten together and talked about who we would be recommending to the board, so that should be coming up in the April meeting. And then I also wanted to talk about some of the things that Dean Quiotes had started in her business program. So I had a chance to attend the South Pasadena Virtual Enterprise. It's the first time they've had it since COVID. It was really great to see the students come in, and what they do is they host a number of events. Each of the students has a group, and they pick a product, and they market it like you would any enterprise, and sell it, and then they take orders, and they have sort of a competition. But we talked about the strong business pathways over in through South Pasadena, and I've talked about some of the ideas that Dean Quiotes had and how we could extend that with the Cal State LA. And as I've reported in the past, 39 of our students from PCC transferred directly over to the Cal State Business Program. So these are opportunities for all of our students. I also wanted to give a shout out to Vice President Bolin for her work. And so one of the things that she reported at the PAPI committee was that we will be unveiling a mural of anti-hate that they have been working on for some time. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think that's, and I recently participated in a podcast that was hosted by the Chancellor's Office under Dr. Daisy Gonzalez. And I was with Dr. Pam Lester and Dr. Denise Wissenhunt. So we were podcasting on the Women's History Month and leadership. So I hope you all have a chance to hear it. I haven't heard the whole thing myself. And that's it.
Thank you. Well, look at that. Okay, so next on our agenda is, let's see, we have proposed future board business meetings.
So I also wanted to say that we still need to identify your spring retreat, and my recommendation is going to be that we consider the week after graduation, because it's kind of busy between now and graduation. So we will send out a doodle poll to see what your availability is. I assume, or maybe I shouldn't assume, that you would rather do it on a work day than during the weekend.
I'll get back to you.
Okay, get back to me. But we do, we'll send out a doodle poll, but we do need to schedule that. Okay, you go. Other than that, no. I don't
So, where were we?
Well.
So that was the proposed. Okay, so we have any proposed future agenda items? Anyone? No? Yes.
I would like to propose that we have a informational meeting on enrollment. I know that we have received some data about enrollment, and I just want to see when is appropriate for us to get more information on enrollment.
Okay, we'll put that on the note. Got it? Okay. Okay, so it's a good time of the night. And we are going to adjourn this meeting in memory of Sally Duncan Gordon and Luis Cervantes. So at this time, this meeting is adjourned.